Hi, and we're back to Proverbs. Today's Proverbs 25 and 26 contain more wise sayings from King Solomon. And verse 25, verse 2, chapter 25, verse 2 actually stood out to me. The one that says, "It is the glory of God to conceal a matter, but the glory of kings to search out a matter." Now, the truth is, God has chosen not to reveal everything about Himself. Some things stay hidden, some things are concealed, but we need to obey Him. But all we need actually to obey Him is clearly revealed. So, the things that are concealed are not the things that are important to our salvation, and I use that word important very loosely. So God isn't playing hide and seek with us to say, oh, find out what you need to get where you are. Everything that you need to be the Christian or the person that God has called you to be is revealed. The things that are not revealed are maybe some mysteries and things like that. Deuteronomy 29:29 says, "The secret things belong to the Lord, but those things which are revealed belong to us and our children forever, that we may do all the words of His law." This the king's role, right, is to investigate God's revelation, to lead in godly wisdom and make right decisions. So that's, when it says it is the king's duty to search out the matter. So here it was using kings, but I believe that anyone who is in leadership, who is leading people, in the body of Christ, at work, in a family, it is your duty to search out God's will for you as it concerns that leadership. That's what I take away from this. Now, moving forward, most of this chapter is about relationships. And to be honest, I've gotten some of the best relationship lessons and advice from this book of Proverbs. And this chapter encourages us not to be presumptuous in relationships. Wisdom helps us to properly evaluate relationships and treat others as we want to be treated. That's with humility and with patience. Verse 15 says, "By long forbearance a ruler is persuaded, and a gentle tongue breaks a bone." Now that just tells you about how gentleness and just intentionality, that's what I get. Intentionality in our friendships and in our relationships those are two very, very important things. Sorry, intentionality is important in those two things. So now, too much of a good thing is a bad thing. This essentially points to the need for self-control. We see that in verses 16 and 17, that those verses address it. Overdoing anything can be a problem, even visiting a friend. Now, that was the verse. Those were the verses that say, "Withdraw your foot from your neighbor's house, lest he gets weary of you and hates you." Now, this verse resonates very strongly with me, and personally, I learned the hard way that a visit becomes more valuable when it is rare. I understood visits to be a way to show genuine care and concern. So I was the person that was always checking up on people. And visits doesn't mean even physically going to your house. It's reaching out to you every day, sending you a text and calling you, And instead of, virtual relationships, to be honest, sometimes I feel like, that, like, I actually abhor virtual relationships. Those are those relationships that are just Instagram relationships. You know what I mean? People that are only in your comments and only, on your birthday putting but in real life, you don't have any like real connection with them. You don't speak to them. You don't see them. You don't even have conversations with them. But on the day that you're being celebrated, they are there to, chip in and, so that fake support that people have, like I don't like it at all, right? But the lesson here is to find the balance. Visit less often so you don't become a nuisance, but often enough that the visit is made special. You know that saying that says familiarity breeds contempt? Yes, it's something that I had to actually experience in real life. Like people that I thought that were my friends, who I thought, they really appreciated me coming around and spending time with them and just checking in. but I saw that I was the opposite of what the culture is today. So everyone will stay away and support you from far. And then when you are always there, the narrative is, oh, you are always available. So keyword here, balance. 21 to 22, that talked about your enemy. If your enemy is hungry, feed them, by this way you'll be heaping hot coals on their head. That's a very popular verse, one which people often misconstrue. Caring and compassion, not revenge, should be our focus as Christians. Our kindness to our enemies incites coals of fire, which are feelings of guilt. Now, I used to think the coals of fire was like, yes, this is even more punishment for you because I'm being nice to you. But the thing is, when we are compassionate to our enemies, God rewards us. So you're doing it for yourself more than you're doing it for your enemies. In verse 27, the first part graphically describes the characteristics of a fool as one who must be controlled by physical force because he lacks intellect, one who cannot be trusted with a message, can't learn from experience, and returns to useless labors. However, chapter 12 lets us know that the fool has more possibility of learning than a conceited individual. So you can be foolish, as in simple, and still learn, but someone who thinks they know too much will never learn. Arrogance is actually worse than stupidity. Just like I said, they said, do you see a man who is wise in his own eyes? There's more hope for him, for a fool, than there is for him. So, to be honest, as much as Proverbs talks about, stupidity, foolishness, whatever, arrogance is worse. The last part of the chapter reminds us of the power of our speech, the negative impact of words said without thinking, and words said with evil intent. These words cannot be underestimated. Gossip, slander, and evil flattery can be wicked and harmful. Now here's my hashtag getting to know God moment. Sometimes the glory of God is revealed in his mystery. He's glorified in the things that we don't immediately know. Sometimes even though us as humans are often seeking answers and wanting to know things when we want to know it, true faith is trusting in God. Anything that God conceals from us is ultimately in our best interest. So it's also in our best interest to trust him. Thank you for joining me today. I'm really enjoying the Proverbs. And tomorrow we'll continue with chapters 27 to 29. See you here. Have a good day.